whatever have you. 95% of things in this world you can do. The 5% are, for example, you are 90-year-old and you want to go to the space as an astronaut, not as a space traveler, which is also possible these days. That's difficult. This Japanese gentleman is trying to learn Chinese, and Swami Ram asked, ones which are before today in black color, yes, you missed those. From here also, all the paths are open for you. Namaskar. The question that we are answering today is, how much control do I have over my life? It's a very interesting question. How much control do I have over my life? Let's try to answer this question from 3 different lenses. Some theory, some practical examples, and in the end, I would ask you to do I'll give you some to-do list so that you can come back and tell me if it really worked for you or not. Okay, how much control do I have over my life? One simple answer is, if you don't have control over your life, who else will have control over your life? It's you. You alone. It's you alone who write your destiny. Let's break it down. It's a very powerful way to look at it. The moment you actually understand and assimilate this, that it is you alone who write the destiny, who write the story of your life, create the future, so to say. Gautam Buddha said, what you think, you become. Our thoughts give birth to our action. Most of the times what happens is, when you think about certain thing, you think over it a few times in your conscious mind and many more in the unconscious mind and then in conscious mind. And it has a bit of a repetitive, it converts itself into an action. An action then converts itself into, that result might be or might not be in your favor. But this is how it works. There is a deeper layer to it. The deeper layer is the layer of desires. You think what you deep down desire. All the thoughts that are springing in your mind right now. When you sit for meditation and a number of thoughts come, you are a spectator, you watch those thoughts. As you're watching the clouds go by in the sky, they come and go, they come and go. You are just merely watching. Similarly, when you sit in the meditation, you watch these thoughts. And when you start to understand them deeply, you will know they are deep down desires which are giving birth to these thoughts. And these thoughts, as I said before, they eventually will convert into some sort of an action. And an action will reap some results. And the results are towards the destiny, the story, the future that you want to build for yourself. Let's take an example. My friend Dhondumal, he wasn't very happy where he was working. He was good at what he was doing, but he was able to see that not very happy. Neither he saw himself growing at the position where he was in. He was about 26, 27 years old at the time, had like 2-3 years of experience post-degree. He wanted to grow up on the ladder, wanted to broaden his skill set, whatever the situation was, but he wasn't very happy. So what did he do? He went and spoke to his family members, some of the friends, some of the cousins who were in the similar industry, and people gave him different advices. Some people said, you know what, if this is the case, go and speak to your boss. And if he doesn't listen, go and speak to his boss. See what comes out of it. Other people said, hey, change the industry. The industry is not good anyways. You look at you, you don't think you will work in this industry anyways. Who said to you to go in this industry in the first place? Don't do it. Go somewhere else. So he went there. So that was one suggestion. And he spoke to some other friends. Some other friends told him, oh, you should do an MBA. Because if you want to rise up on the corporate ladder, you have to have an MBA. Without MBA, nobody can. Different places you go, people will give you different feedbacks, their opinions. And that's okay. Because that's their reality for them. So they give you their opinions, which is good. And Dhondumal finally said, you know what? I'll go and have a conversation with the manager. And he had the conversation with the manager. The manager gave him the reality. Look, the condition of the economy right now is that our industry is not going to grow. Until the industry grows, our company is not going to grow. the company doesn't grow, I don't believe we'll be able to grow a size of team or we'll be able to put you on the different position, higher up position. So he got the message. He took one step from the suggestions that he got. And he said, you know what, let me try to look in the MBA field. He did his basic research. Dondumal, very smart guy. He kind of narrowed down the colleges that he wanted to go. He sat for his GMAT and then he went through his GMAT test and whatnot, applied for the universities and got into one of the universities that he wanted. At this time, a year had passed or 9 months or so had passed. And then he went and gave the letter to his employer saying, look, we had this conversation 9 months ago and now I am doing this because as you mentioned, there was little to no growth here. 2 years down the line, he finished his MBA and then he went to look for a different job. The economy also had changed by that time and he found a job that he was happy. Now understand what happened here. The very first thought that came to his mind was, I am not happy here. It did not just happen once. In nature, nothing happens once. There's no sudden knee-jerk reactions in nature. When that happens, usually it's the havoc that happens. Nature has its own way of working. So he first got a thought that I'm not very happy here. That we can go few layers deep as well, like why did he even have thought in the first place? But for this example, to understand how much control do you have over your life, he first got the thought. And he took actions on this. Number of times repetitively he got this thought, look, I'm not happy here, do something about it. And what he do, the action was go and speak to people. And he got more thoughts. So think of the decision tree that you're building. And out of those different options that he had in front of him, he tried one. Spoke to his manager. That didn't work out. So he came back to the same node of a decision tree. Then he tried a different one. This time the MBA. It worked out for him. And then he went further ahead. And about 2 years down the line, he was at the position where he wanted to be 2 or 3 years ago. Remember, how much control did he have over his life? An entirety of it. I often tell this to my girls. I have 2 daughters, 9 and 11. And I always tell this to them, that 95% of things in this world, you can do those things. Whatever have you. 95% of things in this world, you can do. The 5% are, for example, you are 75-year-old and you want to play in NBA or EPL. That becomes difficult. If you are a 90-year-old and you want to go to the space, as an astronaut, not as a space traveler, which is also possible these days, that's difficult. But 95% of things in this world, you can do. 95% of the times, you can decide your life. I'll give you one more example. This is probably, we are going back 70 years. Swami Ram was going to Tokyo from Chennai and he was 30 years old at that time. In the ship, he met a Japanese gentleman who was 90 years old. And this long cruise to Tokyo, he became friends with him. And then he found out that this Japanese gentleman is trying to learn Chinese. And Swami Ram asked him, and in those days, people will ask questions politely, whatever they have in their heart or mind, like not hiding behind the political correctness and all that. So he asked him, you're 90 years old, Chinese is a very difficult language. Like you will take 5-7 years to learn the language itself. But you're 90 years already, you might not know what's going to happen tomorrow. And this Japanese gentleman replied, I have 90 years of experience of learning and doing things. How much experience you have? And Swami Ram was only 30 years old. Okay, but you're 90 years old. They had a good laugh about it. And they reached Tokyo and whatnot. 5 years after, that Japanese gentleman published a book in Chinese. And he wrote a number of articles in Chinese in Tokyo for some publication, I believe, at the time, until 105. So he wrote for 10 years in Chinese after learning the language after he was 90 years old. Swami Ram, of course, did not live up to see this because he gave up his body when he was 33, so he died even before the book was published. But the point I'm trying to make is 95% of the things you can do. you have full control over your life. Look at this graph on your screen. You see, this is where you are born. And from the very moment, you had plenty of opportunities in your life at that time. The green color is the path you took, and this is where you are today, listening to this video. Here also, you have plenty of opportunity. Ones which are before today in black color, yes, you missed those. From here also, all the paths are open for you. And if you had watched this video, somebody had told this to you, let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, then the ones which are black are also plausible for you. But that's okay. This is what I was telling you, right? A 75-year-old wants to become or join NBA. Very difficult. That's all. From here onwards, whatever path you choose, it's under your control. This graph I'm taking from Tim Urban. I really enjoy reading his blog. He used to write a blog called Wait But Why. Highly recommend you to go and read it. I'm not sure if he writes it anymore. I'm sharing this with you over here. So how much control do you have over your life? 100%. Just try to make sure that you understand where you want to go. What is it that you want to do? How do you see yourself in the future? And try to understand where you are right now. Skill sets that you have to develop. Where exactly you have to sharpen your pencil. Where is it that you have to improve? And work on it. You have 100% control over your life. Your desires will guide your journey. Your desires will give the birth to your thoughts. Your thoughts will give the birth to your actions. Your actions will reap the results. With divinity in your heart, with devotion in your heart, carry on your journey. In the end, I'm very thankful to all of you to listen to me with so much patience. And I bow down to the spark of divinity in all of you.
My friends, if you like the video, like, share and subscribe. Please check out the description.